Hello, and welcome to the series Kai Women Around the World, a show where we interview our Kai community to see how they organize their lives. Our Kai microphone traveled all over the world to get all the ins and outs about their daily routines. Are you traveling with us?
Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode, the Kai Women Around the World podcast. In this series, we packed the Kai mic and sent it around the world to different corners to ask women about their ins and outs of their daily routines.
For this episode, the mic stayed within Antwerp to talk to Carole Lamarque. She's co-founder and CEO of DUVAL Union Innovative Marketing, where she advises companies in digital strategy and innovation. She's a proud best-selling author of 3 books and knows everything about community building on LinkedIn. Karol is an influencer in the business landscape and goes daily into dialogue with almost 30,000 Belgian leaders. Next to a busy work schedule, she loves to put on her running shoes and train for marathons. In her free time, she likes to escape into nature with her 2 dogs, Rodin and Voltaire. Welcome, Carole. We're very excited to hear all about your tips and tricks to stay organized.
Hi Carol, thank you for coming here.
So, Carole, to start things off, are there some other things you can share with us about yourself?
Yes, some things. So yes, my name, Carole Lamarque. Perhaps I'm proudly born in Paris and even more proudly raised and educated in Antwerp. In Brussels, I built my corporate career in strategic marketing. I have experience in the petrochemicals thanks to Shell, telecom and media thanks to the national telecom players in our country. And I love launching innovations, which is my comfort zone. I launched internet and cloud computing, which was really fundamental. If I look back at my career, it was fundamental to my reputation in our local markets. And I guess it got me a seat as board member of the Port of Antwerp Bruges, which is an open door to the world. But I also am a board member at the local Chamber of Commerce. And I am quite excited about the fact that my experience is useful as member of the jury of Veuve Clicquot Bold Women Award. So I hope everyone is going to subscribe to try to win this award. And my team and I indeed are managing every day like-minded entrepreneurs on LinkedIn. So feel free to join. There's some space left, not a lot, but there's still some space left for eager leaders as the other ones. The community is 29,000 people large. I don't know how I did it, but I'm very fond of it. Besides being an entrepreneur, indeed, I wrote 3 books and I write about going viral and how companies can grow exponentially. I am very passionate about the things I do. I sleep, eat, and breathe marketing, but I do still have some time for other passions. Indeed, I love to train for marathons when my body goes along. And I love to spend time with my husband, my children, and my 2 dogs, indeed. And I do also like to drink tea with friends.
Great, thanks, Carole, for this introduction.
Well, this is a really busy life.
It's a lot of things.
A lot of things. So that's really very interesting because, as you know, the podcast goes about how you organize your life. What is the daily routine of a Kai woman? So, and this to learn from each other and to inspire each other. So how does it look like a normal day in your life? How does it start?
Well, I guess it's a bit the same for every active person. Every day is quite different. So I organize my days. It has changed a lot, completely actually, the past few years because of our favorite topic, the pandemic. So since the pandemic, we've shifted totally our lives, our ways of working with my colleagues also, not especially for me. I went from completely offline way of working to a very, very much online world. where I work 90% of the time. I work from home remotely. I try to fit everything into my home environment, so I can fit in online much more meetings. I don't like to travel, so I don't waste time traveling from one meeting to the next. And working from home is the new normal for me. It's very efficient and it saves a lot of energy. I just not only think it's effective, I just love it as well. Because I try really hard to protect my energy. It's very valuable, of course, and it has become a priority for me in the past months to protect this energy. I fail sometimes at it, but I came from an environment I was very excited. I lived in the city center of Antwerp for 48 years. And thanks to this transition from offline to online, I could make the decision to move, to go in another surrounding and to live in a surrounding much more closer to nature, at least for a city person. I changed from lunch meetings and dinners, I changed to walk meetings. As a result, I got so much more energy. I could walk with people that were very fascinating. And let's say, if I have to quote, you can quote me on this. Instead of orange, walking is definitely the new black for me.
Okay. And is it similar? The people around you, did they also move out of the city, or is it a difference? Maybe the younger ones, they prefer to still stay in the city, or how do you compare that with your surroundings in Antwerp? Because you're talking with a lot of women in the world, so just to give them an idea, how is it here then in Belgium?
I love cities. I only go on holidays to cities, so I'm a big fan. People were really surprised when I left the city center, but it seems that I went away for miles, but I'm just at 25 minutes with the car from the city center. So it's not that shocking. But for a city person, it is really a change. And I see people around me that are primarily entrepreneurs or entrepreneurial and who have like a very mindful way of organizing their time. Like all my friends, which is a bubble, of course, tend to act a little bit like me. My numerous friends, they all lead an active lifestyle, and despite of this demanding schedule, they seem to all have this priority on physical exercise and overall health in general. So yeah, I think one's diet is crucial in shaping one's physical well-being. I have been a believer since I was a very small child. And as the saying goes, at least in Belgium, you are what you eat. So I try to inspire myself, but also others to prioritize health and to invest time in maintaining this health. Is, I believe, very crucial at difficult times in your life. You depend a lot on that health capital that you have. So I try to bring it to my private life, for my friends. So if you don't want to be my friend, I understand, but that's what I try to do, is bring vision of health into the mindset of my friends, but also my team. I really encourage them to strive for this optimal health and well-being. So we do little things. On Fridays, we collectively have a happy, healthy lunch together. So that we at least we come together at the office about 2 or 3 times a week, and Fridays are there to build culture, to eat together, to spend time together. That's the priority then, and we're quite directive on it. So there are no unhealthy drinks or food at the office, at least not on the work space. So you can do whatever you want outside. But I think it's our responsibility to nurture a culture of health, because you spend a lot of hours during your work. And I believe you can help your employees to live a more healthy life.
Yeah, it's true. But I think this is, I mean, there you're really very progressive because it's not typical Belgium, I think. Many Belgians are not aware of what you are telling now.
No, this is not a normal company environment to have walk meetings and have healthy lunches on Friday. So I think, we can, a lot of companies and leaders can actually learn
from this.
From that, exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Now, Karol, with you're a part of a lot of different organizations. You're a board member, but also a jury member. Then you are also a company of the CEO of your own company. So I guess on one hand you have all your professional activities, and then you have your intensive sports training, because running a marathon or doing a marathon is not just nothing.
No.
I mean, I'm not capable of doing
neither do I.
So I'm wondering, like, how do you balance so your private life, time for yourself, your work life, your family time? So how do you balance all of this, and what is your biggest hurdle in finding this balance?
Yeah, well, I hope I'm not scaring you with giving all my tips and tricks, but for those who know me a little bit, they know I don't have to lie about how I live, because I just really live that way. And I know when I think about it, answering all your questions, it's a little bit scary, but yeah, it's the honest truth. So I just don't ask anyone to copy my lifestyle, but it is truly what I do. Personally, I really don't believe in work-life balance. I don't like the word work-life balance. I see a lot of negative thoughts about that. I do balance my passion, which is something like a cheetah, something you have to contain now and then. But I don't really see is my work as a separate thing. My work life is my passion. And so I do see marketing as being a passion and not a work. And I know it's a true luxury is to be able to say this. So what I would say is try to avoid having to make hard decisions if you have the luxury to do so. So I'm modest about it, but if you are able, if it's in your possibilities, try to avoid to have to make hard decisions all the time. There is a certain taboo or a guilt people get from this work-life word, from this work-life balance thing. Life should not be about drawing lines in your own life. As an adult person, you draw lines in your own life, and you have to choose all the time, every hour of the day, what side of the line you are on at that point. Am I in my private life? Am I in my work life? And those lines, I think they're not helping you, they're stressing you. So if you have the luxury to do what you love, or if you can over the years get to that point, stop this work-life balance thing. I don't really believe in it. At least for me, it doesn't work. So my passion is in my blood, marketing is in my blood. I take it with me all the time. It's never leaving me in my private life. It's always there. So I love it. I have the opportunity to help a lot of people through my passion. And helping people makes me grateful for what I do. So to me, I know a lot of people say it's the opposite, but I'm gonna probably be a little bit controversial. You are what you do. So I'm not running, I am a runner. I'm not doing marketing, I am a marketeer. And I became an entrepreneur, so I'm not doing entrepreneurship, I am an entrepreneur. And that's for everything I do. I eliminate a lot of things that I don't do, but if I start something, I become it. And yeah, that's how I see things. I see marketing everywhere, really everywhere. So it's tiring me sometimes in a good sense. I look at marketing and then I just always wonder, is it good marketing? And then I start a debate with myself. Yes, that's what I do with my brains. So I think it's necessary for somebody who loves passion. They will tend to become an expert. And you need to pay attention on this expertise whenever you are doing something, also in your me time. An expert is somebody who tries to be on top of things. And so it means whatever you do, if you are scrolling social media or you're on holiday, you're constantly learning, and you're, I hope, open-minded for new trends, things you don't understand. I understand by saying this, it's kind of scary. I know. Sorry for those who think that way. So I know it, like people say, Carol, it's also important to just relax. Huh? I kind of get a lot, I get nervous when people say that. But if I think about it, I do relax. I just connect with nature. I listen to people that have passions about something totally different, like building a new company, like building Kai from scratch. I remember when the founders came to see me for an interview, I saw all the passion, all the willingness to succeed. And that's something I can spend hours. And that really relaxes me to see this incredible joy in other people that are inspired in something. And that can be something totally different. Like my husband, he's inspired about the wine industry. I see people are inspired about crisis management. And I really get a lot of energy from people who are passionate about anything. It can be the smallest thing in the world. It always fascinates me.
I do believe as well that you need to have that passion, and you need like passion just to keep the energy levels high and to just keep on going. And then, as you say, Carol, I believe then it becomes relaxing in a way, because you just do it for more than just, I have to.
Yes.
So yeah, that's really nice to hear as well. But okay, you do have multiple passions, right? And I bet you can also not do everything. Maybe sometimes you want to do everything, but you still gotta prioritize. So how do you prioritize between all these passions that you have?
So you have a passion, like I love marketing, but you know when you have to put your passion aside. So that's also something that comes natural to me. So what are my other passions? Health, family, friends. They always have been a priority. And if a loved one needs you, you always make time for them. That's a logical thing to do. I do really. It was hard in the beginning, but I'm proud of it. Is I drop every meeting, whatever meeting it is. Probably not this one, but I do drop in principle every meeting, every VIP, even if it's the Pope. I drop this meeting if my son needs me on the phone. If my son calls me, I drop everything. So, and that's a rule. And for team members, it's about the same. If they need me, I make time for them. And I kind of also organize my agenda to be present, to be accessible, to even if you're very busy, there's always downtime. If you're reading something or you're writing something, just put yourself online available, and you can always stop reading. You can always stop working just because a team member needs you. Our company is clearly people-centric, and which means that people always win over efficiency. Yes, it's annoying that somebody interrupts your line of thinking or your reading or your preparation or anything, but still people win over this efficiency. I think that's the best way to evolve. That's the way I want to do things, at least.
Okay, thanks so much, Carol, for sharing that. Now, are there any tools or applications that you use to make your life more organized in general?
Yeah, I learned something from another entrepreneur, Jurgen Ingels, which is a very Flemish name, I guess. He calls it time squeezing. Somewhere in his book, he should write a book only on that. And I think I specialized in time squeezing over the years. It's a form of project management, let's say. So I time squeeze, and to time squeeze, it's really interesting to use technology. I use technology at my own advantage. You need to use technology to be better at project management, at time management techniques. Effective time management techniques can really help, and that's something you learn over the years. You get better and better at it. Technology can certainly help organize and be more efficient. So time squeezing means that you do two things at once. Normally it's hard, but still I have kids that are very busy too. I had a son that for 15 years did swimming competitions, so it's very time consuming, like 4, 5, 6 times a week they're active with swimming. But while they are swimming, you can do something. You can train for your marathon in the area till he's finished swimming, and then you can pick them up. Or if they have a competition, I never missed one competition in the life of my son. But while I was waiting, because swimming is a lot of waiting in between competitions, you can do something else, train, read your mails. So those kind of things is try to squeeze your time to optimize it. And time boxing is something I recommend for leaders and young people. It's time boxing your agenda. Like when you were a student, boxing your timing, retro planning when you're going to study something, actually time boxing like students do, or good students do, is something you can use in your professional life as well. I have a nice summary about how to time box your calendar. So if anybody wants the summary, I can share it with you if you like.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yes, very interesting. I think everybody can use this. Yes, and it's true. Like you said, if you have to share, you need the time to share with your loved ones. You need to give them the attention, and it's something. I mean, it's something I do also automatically if I bring my daughter, and of course she's there. She's busy with her hobby. You start to work a little bit. You start to check. It's a little like that. But sometimes you get also this kind of remarks from other people around you. Are you again working? So you always have to give this kind of excuse. Yes, sorry, but okay, I need to do the time squeeze exercise. And
Well, it's a thing. You should never apologize for what you want to do. So you really should stick to your dreams, to your needs. You can only make other people happy if you're yourself radiant and have a lot of energy. You become magnetic for other people. So it is important to take care of yourself and to be able to not feel guilty about anything. It's like, again, this taboo and guilt thing, which is really hitting women harder than men. I guess it's an inherent thing that we were born with. Get rid of it. If you are true to your passion, be proud of it. Don't apologize. You are who you are. You do you, and be proud of it. People apologize way too much. If you're not.
Yeah. And I think especially women. Especially women are women. Especially women.
Yeah.
I mean, in this case, there is no right or wrong, you know?
No.
It's what you say, Carol. It depends on what you want and what...
Yeah. We are overwhelmed with this guilt, and this and doesn't enable us to be the best we can be. Everything in a home environment is a team effort. I saw some marketing good example, and something on TV where cooking was something they did together as a family rather than the mother who has to do it all. And I think that's a good way of putting things. And you have to learn your kids at a young age to, for instance, when they get back from their sport activities, they shouldn't throw their bag somewhere in the house. There is nothing wrong with teaching your kid that there's a square machine with a hole in it, which we call a washing machine, and you put your sport activity stuff in the machine yourself and you press one button. It can't be that hard. And you see all those mothers that behave like a slave for their kids because they want to overcome some kind of guilt. I don't think that's the way forward. Our kids, we have 4 kids in total in this house. Now they're all left for the university, but they were all cooking one day a week for the family. Was it the best dinner? No. But then at least you teach them that all this family stuff is a team effort. Get rid of your guilt. You train your kids to be better people as well when they learn all those tasks with you and you do it all together. When they have to raise a family of their own, or they become a roomie of somebody, at least they're not like a person with two left hands. They can take care of themselves. They can take care of somebody else. I think, I don't know, dads or moms, I don't care, but don't put yourself in this Calimero situation where you have to complain that you have to do everything yourself all the time. And another quote for a next t-shirt is, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, you have your village often in your own home, but you try to do it all as if you are a hero with a cape. You're not. So share this burden, which nobody really appreciates even. Share it with everybody.
Yeah, that's true. That's very good advice. Yes. Okay. So we've talking about your life, your busy life, how you organize, how you use tools. But what do you think is typically in Belgium? Because for the audience in the other countries, what do you think it's typical? Is there maybe a misconception about how people from abroad think about Belgians? Because you work also internationally, so...
Well, I think Belgians are renowned for their efficiency and for their structured way of working, a little bit like the Germans, I guess. What I try to avoid as well, something that stresses a lot of people, is the number of emails they get, and they have to, in corporate life, it is really astonishing. Even other entrepreneurs, I hear them complain about the number of emails they get. I have for years, when I was in corporate life, I was like a slave for all the emails that came in. So I introduced something new in our company, and it is it's not allowed, like, let's put things extremely to have an effect, to send emails between colleagues. Don't send mailings to one another. Mailings are meant to summarize something you already know and are reserved for clients and external partners. You don't need to talk to a colleague through an email. That's the principle. And to put it in a metaphor, I like to compare mails with pigeons. We have a lot of pigeons in Belgium. And it's like when you feed them, those pigeons, more and more pigeons come your way. So I always say, don't feed the emails, they procreate. So if you keep that already, you're going to reduce your stress, because I think email is something that is really overwhelming a lot of Belgian employees. And stress is something probably common for a lot of countries, but I think we have a lot of stress in our country. We are a very effective, structured way of working for a workforce, and therefore I guess it generates also a lot of stress which needs to be monitored. Too much stress indeed is destructive, but that said, I do believe we can't live without it. There is something like good stress too. Not all stress is bad. If I can recommend you a book, I have it here with me, so perhaps I could show it. It's a professor. She's called Elke van Hoof, and she's really specialized in this. And I really follow her thinking, because I was so concerned about my own stress levels that I thought I had to do everything to scratch stress from my life. But that would be like living under a bubble. It's not possible. Stress is a good thing. It pushes us in life. It pushes us to take action. There are a lot of innovations that would never have existed if somebody wasn't stressing about it. There wouldn't be certain innovations, improvements. And stress puts us also in a situation where you reflect on yourself, you try to understand yourself better, you try to self-develop better. So stress is a sign that you truly care about something, and it is a better suggestion to manage your stress, like avoid emails, for instance. That could be something nice, to communicate with people in another way. We have a virtual office every day. So we can go online from 8:30 to, like I said, 5, 6 in the evening. So if you have a little question with your colleagues, you can always say, hey, is anybody listening? I have a little question, which also avoids tons of emails. And as I said, we use technology, we use WhatsApp, you could use Slack or Microsoft Teams to ask a little question and to avoid email is not a chat box. WhatsApp is a chat application. So you have to use the right medium for the right message. That's what marketeers tend to say.
Yes.
So it really helps to reduce the stress, the overall stress of the Belgian population,
Yes.
I guess.
I think also because I think Belgians, we are also known that we are a little bit more shy than, for example, if you compare to Holland, and we are more scared to talk face to face or even take the phone. Phoning, I see even younger ones, they're not used anymore.
Especially the younger generation.
Yeah. And then it's easy to just send a mail and then...
Yeah, but I think the younger generation don't mail, they chat.
They chat,
which is again then perhaps the wrong medium for the solution. So I think it's in the training of younger people, which medium do you use for which purpose? It should be a good training. If something is urgent, you don't send a mail. It really happened to me. Somebody had to drive 160 K to a venue, and he mailed me while I was driving that the event was cancelled. I was so mad. I said, like, yes, when your house on fire, you also send an email to the fire department. Okay. If something is urgent, you call me so I can drive back to my home and save me a whole day.
Yeah.
So people should use the medium.
The fine for riding to and the fine, the penalty that you're driving too fast. Yes. Okay.
Yes, indeed. So.
Okay, Karol. Great insights.
Yes,
for real.
Very great.
Now, if there is one advice you could give, I know it's hard to give a summary and give one advice.
There are really many advices
to women around the world when it comes to organizing. But what would be the advice that you would like to give?
I think for a special advice that's perhaps a little bit more typically women when making choices, I think it is what I try to do is stick to my dreams, stick to what I want, what I need, even if it sounds very selfish. You can, in your dreams, my husband, my friends, my dogs, everybody's there. So it's not selfish. It's what I need, what I want is for them to be happy. So it's part of my dream. And sometimes to do that, you have to say no. You have to say no to commitments that are not in line with those priorities. This is really something you need to focus on. This really will help you. And of course, you need rest and recovery. It's like a sports, like an athlete. If you really live very efficiently, like I try to do, it is really tiring. And a top female leader recommended me. I was looking really impressed by how she worked. She was the CEO of a huge company I really looked up to. And she gave me as advice to take 1 week off every 3 months. So every quarter, just take 1 week off. That can really help for your rest and your recovery, like an athlete. And then, of course, if you are very, very busy, like we all are in this world, busy. Well, don't be a calimero about it. Be a cheetah. Don't apologize. Just say, I love what I do. I just go for it. Enjoy it. You do you, like my son says. And don't apologize for it. Be proud. That's it.
Thanks. Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karol.
Thank you. Okay. So it was very nice to have you. We know you have a very busy business schedule, so we're really proud.
I said yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for making the time and for sharing everything with our community.
And I'm sure the community will pick up a lot of advice from this podcast. Thank you.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you, Karol.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.